As always, much love and huge shout outs to Abdullah, Titan, Palms, Tyler, Cozy, Rare Omen, JPK, Supreme, Uncle, AG Snipes, and AG Twitch, Snoot, Graham, Abadi, Grim, Runnin, Leon, Preto, Lancer, Vortex, and Joel. Huge shout out to every single one of you guys, and also major shout out to our channel MVPs, Abdullah, Titan, Runnin, Tyler, and Supreme. I greatly appreciate all you guys. If you guys haven't watched my recent video, I made a video on the Rick yesterday. So a shameless plug number one. Also shameless plug number two, when we eventually get 2K subs on YouTube, I will be doing an Elden Ring playthrough where a guy, myself, who has never beaten Elden Ring, myself, and has never beaten a Souls game, myself, is going to then be playing a very hard game. So if you guys want to see me suffer, rage, and have a mental breakdown, highly recommend you subscribing and watching that, whether it's live on stream, which I stream every day, 6:30 CST on YouTube, or damn near every day or every other day. And so, yeah, if you want to watch it live, there you go. If you want to watch it in the chopped up episodes I'll be doing, I'll have that post on the channel as well when we hit 2K subs. And yeah, I could not be where I am without all the fine, amazing people in my community. So I absolutely greatly appreciate you guys. And let's get right into the video, shall we? Yo, how you guys doing? It's your boy Beastly back at it again. This was with a not Call of Duty video. What is this? Yes. So if you guys don't know, I am now I guess I can officially say I'm a Marvel Rivals grinder now. I haven't really given this game, I think it dropped back in what, October, November, December, sometime late 2024. I have not played it at all. I skipped the beginning of it, not because I hated the game, just because I really wanted to have, you know, people get the vibes for the game, kind of like see if it was going to live, basically. I didn't want to put time and effort into a game that was going to die or be dead on arrival within hours of, you know, the game being live. So I gave it some time. And eventually, after a lot of questions and answers and, you know, people wondering when I'm going to play it, I eventually took time to play it. I'll show you my stats after this replay. But yeah, I'm now a Marvel Rivals grinder. If you guys don't know my backstory, because a lot of you guys are relatively new. Aside from Call of Duty, I'm a big hero shooter guy. I spent many years on a game called Paladins. I absolutely adore that game. In fact, I still I know it's better than Overwatch, whether it's Overwatch 1 or 2. Don't care if it's a hot take. It's the truth. Paladins is an objectively better game than Overwatch. It's just unfortunate that Overwatch was made by a multi-trillion-dollar company in Blizzard, and Paladins was made by a poor company. So there you go. Anyways, I have a lot of years of Paladins under my belt, and then eventually, 2-ish years ago, I swapped to Overwatch 2. I played like 10-ish seasons of Overwatch 2. Gave up on the game because the devs are stupid. They have bad updates. They don't understand game balance at all. And the point of what I'm making here is that I have many years of a hero shooter experience, whether it's Paladins, whether it's Overwatch 2, whether it's now Marvel Rivals. So I'm going to be posting some Marvel Rivals content. Let me know if you guys like or dislike this. If you guys like it moving forward, I will be posting a lot more Marvel Rivals content. As you guys know, I've been streaming the game like crazy. Omega shout outs to the people who absolutely backpack me every single game. And that is the GOAT Tyrant and the GOAT Titan. If you guys don't know, Titan is in the intro. So there you go. That man is a Overwatch friend of mine, and Tyrant is a new member of the community. He's a goated DPS player who's also got his roots in Paladin, so go figure. But yeah, I've been basically duoing with Tyrant and slash trio queuing with Titan from my entire grind from Bronze 3 all the way to GM. We hit GM yesterday on stream, so if you were there, I appreciate you. And if not, you can go watch the stream highlight there. And I've had next to no resistance the entire time climbing from Bronze 3, the lowest rank in the game, to then GM 3. Now, I'm not saying that as like a flex or an ego thing. It's just, I was told going into this, grind that the rank system in this game is terrible. The matchmaking is terrible. And I really haven't had that many problems besides the few exceptions I'll get to later in the video. But generally, like 90 to like 95% of my games have been generally good. But with all that yapping out the way, here's the gameplay. So obviously this is not live. This is a, what do we even call this? Theater mode? And that's for COD. But either way, this is not a live game. This is a game from, I want to say it was Plat. I forget where this game was. But this was a Plat game. And I'm not going to spoil if we win or lose or the stats until the end of the game. But as you guys can see, I am playing Moon Knight. If you guys don't know, I am a Moon Knight pretty much 1 TP. as I get a fat chunk of what, almost 10%? Yeah, 10-ish% of my ult charge off spawn. Love to see it. I love Moon Knight. I know Moon Knight is not considered one of the best DPS in the game. I understand that. He's pretty bad in the grand scheme of things. However, I like playing Moon Knight. I like the way he punishes, you know, the death ball comps. And I, generally speaking, if you pair him with a decent tank and a decent second DPS, he'll do very well. Essentially, one of the problems Moon Knight has is Moon Knight will do an absurd amount of damage because he's constantly pinging his abilities and his regular shots off of the enemies, like you see I'm doing here. He's constantly ding, 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 ding. However, the issue is that he doesn't actually finish a lot of kills. So you'll set people up to, you'll do 70, 60% of the health bars, but you can't finish. As I absolutely whiff an ultimate, and also don't mind my aim. I am on console and I'm bad, so keep that in mind. But yeah, Moon Knight does a phenomenal job of actually weakening or softening people. And if you have a decent tank or a decent second DPS to finish, you'll do well. You'll do really fine. That's kind of what I've kind of developed. As I almost beat Venom in this 1v1, I don't know where the health packs are. Again, I'm still relatively new to the game. If I would have grabbed a health pack, I probably could have killed him, but it wasn't worth it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The point being, I died. Yada, yada, yada. Yep, back from Swan. Here we go. But yeah, Moon Knight has been my favorite character to play. Random bullshit go, if you read the comics, is super funny. Prior to the game, I wasn't a big Moon Knight fan, but now that I'm actually enjoying the hell out of playing Moon Knight and playing this character and playing the game, I'm gonna have to go watch the Moon Knight series on Netflix or wherever that series is. I get to pick on the Bucky, which is pretty good. But yeah, general tips for Moon Knight, and this is, I've learned this as applies to pretty much all ranks as I get my ultimate. Again, this is now my second ult, and the match has been going on for like 2 minutes. But the recommendation, I go to do it, and then I cancel. I'm like, yeah, they're not clustered enough. And someone else on the other team swaps to Moon Knight to counter me as Moon Knight, which is kind of funny. I pop my ult because I see a bunch of people grouped up. I get 1 pick, maybe 2. I get 2 picks. Nice. But yeah, I love Moon Knight. I love how he basically punishes cluster gameplay. And if you just have good people around him, you will pretty much always win. Obviously, the counters to Moon Knight is pretty much endless. If you go against a good Iron Fist, you're cooked. If you go against a good Spider-Man, you're cooked. If you go against, Jesus, a good Widow, you guessed it, you're cooked. Like, there's Moon Knight, I get why people call him the weakest or one of the weakest DPS in the game. I do get it because, you know, you have people like Magic who can animation cancel and insta-kill you at like 300 health. You have people like Bucky who can now animation cancel as well to do massive damage, along with pulling people out of ultimates. And by no means am I saying Moon Knight's the best DPS in the game. By no means am I saying that. However, I do think Moon Knight gets aggressively disrespected given how much he punishes people. And by the way, I suck at the game, right? I'm by no means good at the game. I'm terrible. So the fact that a bot like me who's terrible at the game has a 90% win rate playing Moon Knight goes to show that if you had actual aim, which I don't, you can do much better. Right? Hawkeye's very good one-shotting you. Squirrel Girl is obnoxious. I absolutely hate that character. I think someone in this game swaps the Squirrel Girl at one point. I hate how Squirrel Girl absolutely... I gotta whiff another ult here, right? Yeah, I do. So yeah, what you're supposed to do is put that in the middle, and I keep doing it on the outside because I am, in fact, bad at the game. As I get out, I'm getting dove. My supports are DPSing, not healing, which is pretty cool, pretty cool. Now I'm getting healed. Nice. But no, I like Moon Knight's gameplay. I think it's very fun, and I think he works very well in most ranks. Again, I'm in GM3 right now, and I have a 90% win rate, or whatever the math ends up being. You pair him with a decent tank and a decent, you know, secondary DPS to finish, you kind of do wonders. Tyrant, my wonderful duo, loves to play Hawkeye. And if you could already imagine how frustrating of an experience that is, the fact that I'm doing like 50, 60%, you know, damage to people, he doesn't have to headshot them to kill him. He doesn't have to at all. So it's you know, free pickings. I'm just getting fat ult charge right here. Just infinite pings, infinite ult charge. If I play my cards right, I should get like my 4th or 5th ult here, which that's the other skill gap with Moon Knight as I've climbed higher and higher and played the game more and more. the better you are at using his ultimate, the far better you'll do. I had a nasty almost 6-man on my stream last night. I only got 4 because 2 other people that would have died got killed by someone else. But nah, it was a crazy clip. And you see how much I'm whiffing here? Like, my aim's just not, I mean, this is back in plat. My aim's gotten better since then, but, you know. I believe this gameplay was like 4 days ago. Now I'm in GM. This was back in like gold/plat, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it was diamond plat, I don't remember. But, point being, as you can see, I'm not doing terrible. I'm not doing great either, right? We're kind of having some stagnant pushes where our team's very split up, right? Right there, battle. Could have been a god tier ult if I just pushed it a little further back, but ultimately what happened there was the Venom dove, and I have no microphone. My shit broke on stream a couple days ago, and I'll have a new one as I get absolutely dumpstered by the best DPS in the game in Bucky, and don't at me, he's the best DPS in the game. But yeah, my headset broke a couple days ago on stream, and I won't have it here probably till Wednesday, so I can't comm with my team. Unfortunately, my Venom went into dive right when I Moon Knight ult, so they were already backpedaling because of the Venom dive. If I was, you know, if I would have known in advance that he was going to dive when he did, I would have very easily just put the ult a little further back and killed probably 4 people. So yeah, up to this point, I've not played particularly great, albeit, but I've not played terrible. Now, I'm not going to spoil the end of this video, but I don't know, this is my first time recording like a video like this. I don't know if chat is gonna pop on the screen or not, but it was around the halfway point of the game where my teammates started typing at everything. Our magic was you know, throwing verbal haymakers at me, saying I'm garbage, saying our tanks are garbage. Like, everybody was just, as I get a triple here, everybody was just killing each other. And see, that's what I mean by like Moon Knight. Moon Knight has the potential to absolutely dumpster a group of people. If you play him properly with the right other people, Moon Knight can be devastating, especially in like very tight and clustered like chokes. Moon Knight's disgusting. But yeah, it's our magic was just throwing verbal haymakers at everyone. And if you can go back and find the footage, this was obviously pulled from a live stream because I have not played this game off live stream very much. And so yeah, it was crazy how much our Venom was just talking schmack. And spoiler alert, they think eventually I'm the problem while we're losing. And going into the next round, someone takes my Moon Knight from me. And they specifically say, beastly word, you are terrible, which if you don't have my Xbox name. They say that I'm the reason we're losing, and I'm like, okay, bet. If you think you can do better and steal the character from me when I'm doing fine, go right ahead, right? Do it, you do you. Whatever we gotta do to win, that's fine. Even though I think it's hilarious, I'm getting blamed for this. When I think we have 1 tank, which, LOL, 1 tank, and even in plat's not a very smart idea. I mean, we have a Venom as our solo tank. If we had like a mag or strange, things would be different, but it doesn't matter. This is plat. You can't expect the top tier gameplay from plats, if I'm being honest. We swapped to Penny, which instantly dies, by the way. Venom's just running it down. Hell, honestly, I don't even feel like we have a second DPS, which, spoiler alert, you'll see why I don't really feel like we have a second DPS. That was a bad onk. It was supposed to go behind the wall, but because of the hitbox of the wall, I actually got stuck. Now, I have an ult, so I know here that if I have to, I can ult like I just did. I think I get 1 kill, right? 1, 2 kills? I get 1 pick, which is not bad. And because of this being a tight corridor, we're pushing very close to OT. I know that, you know, playing Moon Knight, as long as I stay alive, play my life, and hold angles properly, and don't int, I should get another ultimate. And, you know, my team just kind of goes in at this point, and we kind of win the little stall battle. I think. But yeah, this is where I'm talking about how, like, Moon Knight is surprisingly strong. Like, this is where Moon Knight gets mad disrespect. Like, I just don't think the Moon Knight slander is real. I am constantly, right here, just chucking damage. Now, mind you, I'm not killing anything, but I'm forcing damage. I get another ult. I got 2 ultimates within, like, 30 seconds. Kill 1, get 1 pick. I believe I kill someone else here, too, with the ult. Right now, I just get 1. Wish my Luna Snow would have ulted before I died. That would have been great. But yeah, basically, in situations like that where you know where the enemy's going to be, and yes, you're not going to be killing most people, but you're going to be softening them up so much.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
So as you can see, I'm going to pause the replay. Mr. Khonshu Hio. I'm butchering that name, but the guy steals Moon Knight from me. And it was this moment, the magic, the new Moon Knight, and I believe it was either the Luna Snow or it was basically I was solo queue. And I believe there was someone else solo queue because the magic was duoed with one of the supports and the tank Kool-Aid was duoed with the other support, I think. So, but either way, it was two solos, a duo, and a duo. And you can tell who was on whose side if you could go back and watch the stream because they weren't insulting the people they were playing with. They were exclusively insulting the people they weren't playing with. And so he takes Moon Knight from me and they're calling me names saying I'm awful, yada, yada, yada. The normal stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool, fine. If you want to do that, cool. Just take Moon Knight from me when I'm kind of doing very well, but whatever, take Moon Knight. I'll swap the mag. I don't have any problems playing mag. Now, I mean this with no ego at all, but you're going to notice there's going to be a distinct difference when I'm playing tank versus when I'm playing DPS. And the difference you guys will notice momentarily, but there's going to be a big difference when my ass is on tank and when my ass is not on tank. So keep in mind, I was only playing Moon Knight for half the game, for literally one round. So this guy who's been playing Moon Knight played Moon Knight in overtime and the second round. So he played Moon Knight longer than me. He had the same amount of final blows as me, which is kills. And I'm going to go ahead and include this just because I'm going to probably say this a million times over the next week. But this thing right here, the two swords icon, these are not kills. I don't know why I got to always explain this, whether it's, Overwatch or now this game, but I did not have 38 kills. These are KOs, these are deaths, and these are assists. Well, Beastly, what's the difference between kills and KOs? Here's the difference. If you want to know how many actual kills happened in the lobby, count the number of deaths the other team has. Now, I'm not going to do it for the sense of this video, but if you count the number of deaths they have on this team, you will notice that number does not equal the number of quote-unquote kills we have for the team. They are different numbers, which means how can you kill someone more times than they have died on their team? Furthermore, to break down the scoreboard more for you guys, the assist category pretty much only works when someone dies directly, I believe, within short duration of an ability that you used. So that's why you will always typically see supports have high ass assists and non-supports have low assists. Generally. Final blows are pretty much the best indicator of actual kills, but it's not, again, full indicator because it's the final blow. So whether you did 1% damage or, 99%, who put the final kill in? So final blows are not the end all be all, but they are a good representation of what's going on. So yeah, I didn't get 38 kills here. I got 38 KOs, which means 38 times I either killed the person or participated in the person dying. So that's how you read that scoreboard. If you guys couldn't figure out by this scoreboard, even though I played Moon Knight far less than this Moon Knight, he had less damage than me. I'm going to repeat myself. The Moon Knight who stole Moon Knight from me because he was a petty bitch, who thought I was the problem, the guy who died a whopping 8 total times was the problem, took Moon Knight from me, and he played Moon Knight for 2 extra rounds. I had Moon Knight for 1, he had Moon Knight for overtime and the second round. He still had less damage than me. Furthermore, not just did Moon Knight have less damage than me, Moon Knight also had less kills / less assists than me. I had 38, he had 35. Kind of add extra salt into the wound, he had 13 deaths. I had a total of 8. I did not deserve to lose this game. By no means should I have lost this game. The reason why we lost this game was because my Moon Knight had an ego. He thought he could be better than me, and he couldn't. Secondly, we lost because my magic, if you guys haven't seen it yet, my magic had 21 deaths. By no universe should you ever have 20 plus deaths. I do not care if there's an Adam Warlock that's reviving you. I don't give a shit. You should never exceed, honestly, if I'm being honest, the most deaths you should ever have in a coordinated game of ranked, whether you're solo queue or with a team, the worst you should ever have is 12 to 15. Once when you start reaching stupid numbers like 18, 17, 20, 21, 25, 30, you're throwing the game. So not just did our magic die an absurd amount of times, but she basically had no damage. Like, our Venom had more damage. I had a lot more damage. Moon had more damage. Hell, our Luna Snow was 5k off of equaling her damage. Like, she wasn't doing hardly any damage. And you could tell, because if you, again, watch the replay, it was really bad. Like, there was whole ass moments where, like, either we were getting plowed or we were, like, you know, steamrolling them. And pretty much the deciding factor was whether or not our magic was playing Respawn Simulator. The moment our magic went back to playing Respawn Simulator, we lost all momentum. So yeah, I had 8 deaths, almost 40k damage, 38 KOs, and I lost. It was very infuriating. Also, if you look at the supports that were also bickering with each other, pretty much everyone on this team was arguing with each other but me at some point. Our Cloak and Dagger got 32k healing, and their Cloak and Dagger got 60. Their Cloak and Dagger almost doubled ours in healing. Their Cloak and Dagger also had more damage and also more kills. So our Cloak and Dagger got absolutely Cloak and Dagger diffed. Absolutely diffed. But yeah, this was one of a few losses I had, and I figured this would make great for a YouTube content, just to see how you guys would generally feel about the Marvel Rivals content. So let me know. This video will probably be relatively longer, given the yapping and whatnot. But yeah, this was a game I played on stream. All these games are on stream. Oh, basically, we don't believe your win rate is what you say it is. Okay, bud, where's the thing? Here you go. And this season alone, I have 9.3 hours on Moon Knight. I have 43 wins out of 53 total games, meaning I have won 43 games and I have lost 10 games. Out of those 10 games I've lost, 4 of them were solo queue. So realistically, I've lost 6 games when I'm playing with at least one other human. I should be, realistically, I should be 43-6. But whatever, we'll count those 4 games I played solo queue and lost. That's fine. I have 10 losses. And just so you guys can see also the history, I will filter by just comp and go all the way down. As you can see, this starts all the way in Plat 3, and I'm just going to slowly scroll up the scoreboard, Plat, all the way to Diamond, scroll all the way through Diamond, and then last night we ended on GM3. And the gameplay I showed you wasn't even the best game I played on that stream. As you can see, the best game I actually did was in GM3. I went 47-9. Here's the scoreboard for this game. Titan was my tank. Tyrant was my fellow DPS. And yeah, this was technically the best performance I had on stream. But yeah, there you go. Like I've not really noticed a big difference between Plat, Diamond, and Grandmaster. Not yet anyways. Who knows, but after further streams and further videos if I actually feel a difference. But yeah, no, like it's Moon Knight is not that hard to play. At least if you play him properly. I guess if you don't know how to play Moon Knight, he's kind of bad. But when you play Moon Knight, my last little tip before I wrap the video up. When you play Moon Knight, you are very rarely going to be the carry of the team. Right? The whole point of you is to farm damage, get ultimate, and then pair your ultimate with either a Groot or a Strange or, a thing. Anything that can immobilize people, because after the nerf to Moon Knight's ult, his ultimate's not very good. But if you pair him with, again, someone who can immobilize people, his ultimate's not that bad. Is it the best? No. Is it terrible? No. So you want to farm damage, get ults, and then spam them. That's kind of how you want to play Moon Knight. You will never, I can't say never, but you will very rarely end up having most damage, most kills, most assists. That's probably very rarely going to happen. Maybe the damage, you will have top damage just because it's kind of easy to farm damage with Moon Knight, but specifically the kills. Moon Knight's not made to like flat out kill people. He's very good at softening people up, specifically groups of enemies, and he's very good at finishing weak targets. So if you can pair, if you become like a Moon Knight player, just as a tip I can give you, if you're a Moon Knight player, pair that Moon Knight player with a decent Hawkeye, with a decent Bucky, pretty much any tank that can finish a pick, whether it's a Thing, whether it's Thor. Basically, pick tanks or play with tank players and a other DPS player to finish. So you may not finish with the greatest stat line ever, but you will win a surprising amount of your games if you just play with people who can finish kills. Now, should I be a Moon Knight one trick? No, I shouldn't. I should probably learn other characters, but Moon Knight's the most fun character I've played so far in the game, and I enjoy playing him. And if you guys are curious, here's what my average stats are per 10. Again, by no means am I the greatest player in the world, but I basically went from bronze 3 to GM 3 in a matter of like what, 2 days, 3 days. So I have not lost very many games. Here are my stats. I get 19 kills per game. About nine of them are final kills. I average 14k damage per 10. My best game, as you can see, I got 40k damage done. Damage blocked, which is just damage you take. 3k damage per average, which means I'm not dying very often. Accuracy and whatnot is whatever. My average unk ejections is actually, my average per 10 is 177 per 10. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, no, if you're curious on the other character I have an hour on, it's Mag. I have 4 wins out of 7 games played. So I have over almost a 50. Actually, yeah, it's over a 50, but it's not very high. If I have to play anyone besides Moon Knight, we're probably going to lose. Not because I can't play Punisher or any other character. It's just from my experience, when I'm not playing Moon Knight, everyone else in the lobby just plays worse. I can't explain why, but it is the way it is. But as always, I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you guys would like to see more gameplays like this, whether it's, you know, clips from the stream or just me going back in theater mode and watching on my new journey. As you can see, my account level is only 25, so I'm still a new player. In GM3 right now. Probably by the end of today's stream, I'll probably be either back in Diamond because I suck and I'm boosted, or I'll be in the next rank above GM, which I don't remember the name of. But so far, I've had a great time playing this game. Now, do not play it solo. Again, I have 4 losses on my account from solo queuing. I do think people who complain about the matchmaking who play solo do have a right to complain. The 8 games I've played solo, I went 4-4. And every other game I have played with at least one other human, I have absolutely done, you know, much better. So I think winning wise, it's just like Paladins, it's just like Overwatch, it's just like Call of Duty. It's pretty much just like every other game that has a, you know, matchmaker. If you want to avoid bad teammates, just play with good players. I know that sucks. I understand not everybody has a full team to roll out every single game. I do get that pain, but if you are having an issue with the matchmaker and you feel like you're getting more brain dead teammates on average, just play with better people. I know that might sound basic, but you know, just play with, or not even better people, just play with more flexible people, right? I know my boy Titan's a very good tank, and I know my boy Tyrant's a very good fellow DPS. He also can flex support, by the way. He's a great player, but like I play with people who fit my need, right? Here we go. I found the game. Here you go. So here's an example of what I mean by like your supports don't really matter and your tank doesn't really matter. So at this point, Titan left the stream, so it was just me and my goat Tyrant. And this is one of the very few games where you'll see me actually outperform him. Just because, again, Moon Knight, you're not really the slayer. You're kind of setting people up to be slayed. But as you can see here, dude, my supports were god-awful. My Loki had 11k healing, and he played Loki the full game. And then my Rocket had 16,000 healing, but he played Cap a little bit. So he did play tank a little bit. But, dude, my supports compared to their supports was terrible. I'll round up just to be generous. 12k healing and 17k healing. And look what their team had. 24,000 healing and 22,000 healing. Like, the absolute support gap was fucking crazy. The support gap was insane. And it wasn't even just a support gap. Look at how bad our tank is. Disturbed, who also was playing support with 4k healing and swapped the tank. But yeah, this dude went 8-6 on Captain America. Like, we basically didn't have supports, and we basically didn't have a tank. This was essentially a 3v6. Like, Wavy, which he did okay. I'm not gonna, you know, insult him, but if you guys did watch the stream, this guy was straight up calling me and my boy Tyrant a bot, saying in GM you can't play Moon Knight and Iron Man, in GM you can't do it, and we absolutely fried. So, lick my nuts, Wavy, if you ever watch this video, lick my nuts. Don't do that. Don't throw slurs and insults at your teammates when the game literally hasn't even started yet, when you just see what they play. Just don't do that. Just don't. We absolutely fried. Me and Titan straight up backpacked this entire team. Even the second or the third best player on our team was this garbage tank going 13-7, right? Our support sucked. Our tank sucked. This was essentially just a DPS carry. And this, again, is in Grandmaster. You can tell it's above Diamond because we have bans. And actually, does it? Wait, if I show you the replay. If I show you the replay, yeah. As you can see, Grandmaster and Diamond. That was this lobby. It was high GM or low GM and high Diamond. There we go. But yeah, no, they were fucking terrible. Like, this is what I mean though by DPS, right? If you can kill enough people each fight, it doesn't matter how good or bad your tank is. It doesn't matter how good or bad your supports are. If your DPS can just kill 6 people every fight, you can win, which is so annoying because I don't enjoy playing that way. And I know Tyrant doesn't enjoy playing that way either. The fact that our tanks and supports did not do anything this entire game was very frustrating. So if, again, to add on to this, excessively long video, I have won games with my support sucking and my tank sucking. However, I don't think I've ever won a game where I pop off as a tank or I pop off as support and my DPS struggle. I don't think I've ever won a game like that. In order of like the most important to the least important role, in my opinion, DPS are the most important. If your DPS suck, it's going to be almost impossible to win that game. Second is your supports. If your supports suck, it's not impossible like I'm showing you now. It's not impossible, but it's very fucking hard. And then if your tanks suck, it's whatever. I have won games where my tanks have died like 25 plus times. I have won games where my tanks have died 2 to 3 times. No disrespect, I'm a tank player, right? Primarily, I played Overwatch and played tank. I played specifically Reinhardt, and I specifically played in Paladins like Terminus and Khan. So I have like almost 10 years of tank experience under my belt. And as someone with all that experience, I can just tell you right now, tank is not it. Tank is really not it in this game. I don't want to say tank is the worst role in the game, but in terms of importance, it kind of is. I have won so many games with just below average and average tanks. I don't think I've ever won a game of ranked yet where my DPS just flat out sucked or my supports just sucked. This game, my supports were very bad, but they did okay. But yeah, no, this is just, we'll see how this video does. This was a 45-minute yap session, so I appreciate y'all. Let me know how you feel about me yapping like this in the comments down below. As always, I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, night, afternoon, day, or every time you watch my content in the future. Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Drop me a follow/sub on Twitch. I'd greatly appreciate it. And as always, guys, I will see you when I see you. Deuces.